Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Wine and Dine. This is my last night hosting for you. Next week, you will have a brand new host. So I just want to thank everybody for participating in our wines around the world this month. Tonight, we are going to finish out and close out with Italy, Festa della Primavera. If you don't know what that means Festival of Spring, flowers, colors, new beginnings. And it's celebrated all over Europe, Italy, and it's literally a celebration of spring, flowers, and color, of rebirth. And depending on what part of the country you are in, it will start first day of spring, May or March the 20th, all the way up through April the 9th. So just depending on where you are. And it's just like a big carnival in certain places. They have street fairs, vendors, parades, and every place is decorated with flowers, lots and lots of beautiful flowers that are in bloom, colors. Even their foods are crafted and sculptured to resemble a flower. So tonight we are celebrating Italy. So we're going to have some pastas, some cannolis, some ravioli, a little bit of everything. Yep, ravioli. So we have Miss Kim cooking our appetizers. We have Mr. Nick, he'll be doing our main dish. And then we have Miss Phyllis, who will be finishing up with our dessert. And looks like tonight I don't have any. I'm out. We're going to be using Syrah, or Nick's going to be using a Pinot Grigio, or what was the other one?
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir. So if you have a Syrah, get it ready, or whatever you are drinking tonight. And we're going to let Mr. Nile do our toast.
Hey, well, happy spring, and I'm going to enjoy this beautiful Discoveries Moscato. And it doesn't matter what you're pairing your food with, it all seems to work well. And the Moscato is just a nice spring, summertime drink, right, Char? So I'll tell you what, it's been a great time, been a great couple of years, right? And this year starting off even better. The last 3 months been fantastic. I just got off the phone with our CEO, not just a very short time ago, and just some of the things that are coming up for Wine Ambassador. It's an exciting time to be a part of that. Peter's already got a smile on his face because he knows already what's happening, and great things are happening here. And we're all blessed to be a part of that, and led by people like Peter Antonio and Rory Rickard and Tanya Rickard and Fred Hudson. And we are definitely in the right place at the right time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wonderful.
Oh, Peter, is that Moscato so good?
I'm actually buying a wine case so I can pack it in my suitcase to bring my Moscato, because that's what I'm drinking when I get to Hawaii. Me and Shar is going to take a sip. So we are going to start with our appetizer tonight. So we have our wonderful Miss Kim Moore. If she blanks out, guys, please bear with her. She's in the middle of a storm in her area. So we're going to check on her and see what she's got going on. Kim, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually going to be doing a couple of different things, and I'm using a couple of different wines. The Syrah is, of course, the main one that we're going to be eating what I'm cooking, but I'm adding into my marinara sauce. I put some fresh basil leaves. I guess I better bring the phone over here so you can see what I'm doing. It's easier that way than trying to lift the pots to you. Can you see?
We see you. There we go.
There you go.
There
I got some fresh basil leaves in the marinara, and then I'm adding here a half a cup of extra virgin organic olive oil. Yeah, I might not put the whole half cup. I'm going by what it said on the package. This is the pre-packaged one, okay? So I'm having a contest between this here that was pre-packaged, already made up. Whoop. Now this is the Moonlight wine right there, in case you're wondering. So that's that. So we got the Moonlight wine, and like double the amount of wine that we had of the other. Now this is the prepackaged, and this is the Louisa toasted ravioli. Then I have the raviolis that I'm going to take over here, and I've already got my egg and my milk, which I'm using almond milk because I'm kind of a weirdo. And we're going to whisk that together, and then we're going to take that and dip them into this combination. Can you see what I'm doing? Am I pointing it right?
I see your hand.
All
There
right,
you go.
All right. Now this is a combination of Italian breadcrumbs and salt and pepper. That's all it is. And so that's what we're gonna dip it in the egg and put it in here. I'm gonna just show you. We're gonna just do one. There we go. This is done enough. And then we got to put them in a pan so they all stay together until we're ready to cook them. And my hands are clean. I washed them before I got over here. I'm wearing gloves to cook. I'm sorry, just ain't
Well, you're in
happening.
your own house, so you're cooked good to go.
That's right, especially because I'm the one gonna be eating it. And you kind of got to mush it around so it gets on all the edges, right? See, so it's all
Gotcha.
covered just like the other one is, and we're gonna put it in here to sit and wait. Now I'm gonna do these and get the oil for this because I'm gonna actually fry these. So the concept of toasted ravioli, it's not actually toasted, okay? It's supposed to be fried. But these other ones were pre-done and they say to do in the oven. So we're gonna have a contest to see which one is better. Doing it the way that it says with the fried, and I'm gonna fry it in a combination of coconut olive oil. And I think that's gonna give it an extra special taste. So we've got two wines. We got the Moonlight Sonata in with the marinara, and then over here, the sauce that I'm gonna use for this is this marvelous stuff that I saw. It's called the Tantillo Italian tomato porcini and black truffle pasta sauce. Oh my God, it made me just start drooling as soon as I saw it. So yes, it's bottled, but I don't care. It looks so amazing. That to me will just taste so good in the toasted ravioli. So, and I want to give you a little history real quick and then I'll shut up. You go to somebody else. Toasted ravioli, actually, St. Louis was the big area that started toasted ravioli, and that's where I lived for a couple of years. About the only place you see it now is typically at like Olive Garden or somewhere like that. They're about the only one that you'll see it at. But I'm going to be doing it. The only difference with the normal toasted ravioli is it's just cheese. I'm going to be doing the beef, so it's got to cook a little bit longer. And I had to thaw it out before I did it so that the beef will get, well, it's mostly thawed. I didn't read that part of the directions until an hour before. So y'all know me, I fly by the seat of my pants, you know. But anyway.
That's the only way you learn things.
That's right. But that's how you learn. When you can adjust your thing, then you're all good. So I better turn this down. We're gonna turn this down. Now it says to steep this, so I got it all hot. This other stuff over here, it's all nice and bubbly. And then I'm gonna take this and put it on the top, and I can just turn this off for now because it's supposed to just steep. Matter of fact, I'm going to move it over off of the hot thing until I'm ready. And I'm going to put these in the oven, and they're going to be baking for 8 to 10 minutes, it says. And I'm going to get working on these, and we'll be ready in no time.
All right, perfect. So let's go to Nick. So Nick is making eggplant parmesan, and it's a little twist. So go ahead, Nick. Tell us what you got.
Good evening, everybody. Of course, the eggplant is, I try to get as fresh as possible, a little bit difficult this time of the year. Then I do use a couple spices because I believe in getting a lot of spice in my meals to begin with. And I like Pensy spices, particularly because they have a number of blends. Sunny Paris, in this particular case, actually has shallots, chives, green peppercorn, basil, tarragon, and also deal weed to give it a little bit of a tang. And then I like to balance out the spice with spices, with shallots, onions, garlic, lemon peel, and also orange peel. So those are the spices that I use. And I don't know if you could see it. I'm going to probably move the camera. Let's see if you can see. Then
There you go.
Then I use Italian breadcrumbs, or actually Progresso's herb and garlic breadcrumbs, and then an egg wash. So fairly simple. And then what I end up doing with the meal for the family is that I believe in having bread. So I have cheese bread, and then on top of a spaghetti noodles, angel hair pasta to make the full meal complete for the main course. So fairly simple to do. Now, the other ingredient that I failed to mention is I use diced tomato. I don't use sauce. I purely use diced tomato and put it on the eggplant just to cover on top of it, and then the cheese and the slices. So I'll show that here real quick. Simply, I don't know if you'll be, hey, Brooklyn, can you help me? I have an assistant.
What?
Yep, bring your assistant.
Yes. Okay, come on here. And fairly simple. Once you've done the egg wash and the breading, put it in and let it brown up. And there's a little story behind this, because last week I had the olive, and I use olive oil. I believe in trying to use as much olive oil as possible in the cooking. So I ended up setting off the fire alarm, had ADT. They called, we didn't get to it fast enough, and we almost had the fire department coming down here. So thank goodness we were able to stop that beforehand. I almost did it again.
Yep.
So I'm
So
lucky.
how thick do you cut your slice your
Well,
eggplant?
since this is really this particular recipe is really inspired by my wife, because she doesn't care for that, the tomato sauce, put onto the eggplant. So she likes her eggplants thin. So I'm lucky if it's about 1/4 inch to maybe 3/8, sometimes even thinner than that. But that's the thickness that I use. And then,
Perfect.
as you can see, just brown, and I got it set low so I don't set the alarm off again. Otherwise, I normally have it up just a little bit higher.
All right, so
And-
we're gonna let you get those fried up, and we're gonna
Yep,
go.
get them fried up, and I'll be ready
Phyllis.
in a few minutes.
All right.
Wait, Sheila, where does Nick live again?
I live near St. Louis, Kim, the hill.
Ed,
Okay,
I'll go visit my friend Sandy and you can meet us up and cook for us.
I was trying to decide whose house I'm going to for dinner, Nick's or Kim's. It's just,
Well, Nick will be closer to you to start off with, and then you can make your roundabout way up to Kim's house. You can
Gotta bring
stop
me
by
some
my house
Nile
on the way to
wine when
Kim's
you
house.
come.
oh,
Gotta
you
bring me
know,
wine now. Gotta bring me that Nile Pinot Noir.
oh, it's better than my MasterCard. Never leave home without it.
Before we, Sheila, the wine that I like to start off with for this kind of meal, because I both like whites and reds, is the Pinot Grigio, mainly because it's light, a little bit more acid. It has, I love when you can smell the citrus. There's a little bit of peach hint in there. My nostrils aren't that good. The wife actually smells it much better than I do, but that pairs up real well with a little bit since it's not tomato sauce and very acidic, it's balanced, and it pairs well with with eggplant.
Yeah, because you
Cheese
don't
in
use the whole
particular.
sauce, you just use the tomato.
Right, you'll see it here in a minute when you come back.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Phyllis, I see you moving around over there, Miss Busy Girl. What you got? Gotta unmute.
Okay,
There you go.
I never made this before. I just found it on the website. I don't know if you could see it or not, but let's see. This is what it's supposed to be. Can you
All
see it? It's a cannoli cream.
Okay.
I was gonna do the other kind of cannoli, but this was quicker. It's a little bit faster to make. The other one I
Everything
think was
that
like
we
2
make
hours.
here is 30 minutes or less, so go ahead.
Okay. Okay, it calls for amaretto premium liquor, and pistachio nuts, Of course, strawberries, let's see. Strawberries are the ones that get soaked up into the liqueur. I didn't know there was going to be alcohol in this. But so you got that, and then you got the ricotta cheese, heavy cream. This is a major weight loss kind of dessert. This is what I could not find. I went to 3 stores, but this is still not what I needed.
What is it?
It's biscotti. It calls for amaretti biscuits.
Gotcha.
I thought this was close to it, so
We'll make it work.
I'm gonna do it as I go. It calls for dark chocolate, grated up. So I think that's sort of like maybe the decoration. I don't know. But oranges. I was confused about the oranges. So I'm supposed to cut them up really, in slices like the strawberries. And it calls for orange. Let's see, glaze orange. I couldn't find that either, but I found this. Do you think that would work?
I think
Yeah.
so. We're gonna try it.
It's really sweet.
Yeah,
Well, most
basically,
cannolis I've had are usually really good. So what couple of bites I get to savor.
Okay. So I got to make an icing sugar. I don't know, egg sifted or whatever, but I think I've done that with my carrot cake. So I think I got that handled, and it calls for 25-minute prep. Of course, it calls for 6 servings, but I only have 2 cups. And
We'll just
2
eat the
people.
rest of it out of the bowl.
And 2 people. There you go. All right. So I'm going to sit here and prepare all of this
Okay.
and check back with me.
All right. We'll do.
All right.
All right. So thank everybody for coming out. Again, I just appreciate everybody here. The festival that we are celebrating, like I said, is the Festa de la Primavera. And it is a celebration of flowers, of spring, of new beginnings. And I just thought it would be nice to finish out my month hosting the wine show with a new beginning. We are finishing up our first 90 days of the new year, and we're getting ready to start into our second 90 days. So again, here's a perfect way to start your new season. Start a fresh start. If you didn't get accomplished what you wanted to get accomplished in the first 90 days, start over. Don't let it discourage you. Here's the perfect opportunity. Why we are here is we are part of a wine discoveries club. And we do this every week. We all get different wines every month. And we just like to showcase those wines. We have not professional cooks, just everyday people like you and me that come in and prepare some of their favorite meals and pair it with the wine. And we give an honest to good tasting of what that wine tastes like with that meal. We have our own wine sommelier, Mr. Peter, on here. Sometimes we have Rory on here. Now, a lot of our wine connoisseurs are on here that will help us learn how to make our palates more acceptable to wines and what we should taste or shouldn't taste based on the foods that we're eating. So Mr. Peter, I'm going to call you out. Give us some background on what the wines we're using. Our feature wine tonight is a Syrah. Why does that work well with what we are cooking tonight with our Italian dishes?
well, thank you, Sheila. Actually, the Syrah suggestion came from Kim, who was and this is what I love. I'm listening to this group of chefs, and you all know exactly what you want and why the wine works, which is exciting to me. You don't even need me this week. You guys have got it handled. And one of the things Kim was mentioning, and this is exactly why. I mean, Italian food, first thing you think of is Italian wine. Okay, well, we're from Napa, but then again, this is the American version of Italian, and American is still perfectly valid Italian. So we're doing the American version of Italian food, the American version of Italian wine. So the Syrah is not a grape that you find much in Italy, but it does have that nice full-bodied, spicy herbal quality that goes well with the spices and herbs you get in. It also can handle the acidity that some other red wines can't handle as well. Again, with that, so it really makes a great choice. Also, the Nialetti Pinot Noir that we're going to have with our eggplant is another great choice, and we'll talk about that when we get to the eggplant. But Syrah has it's a very rich, full-bodied wine. You definitely get the herbal notes. You can get hints of oregano in there, which is very typical in Italian wine. You get hints, sort of smoky, bacony things. And think about that. How does bacon taste with that? Think about how these things would taste together. If they taste together as food, those same tasting notes taste together good in wine. So, that's why the Syrah makes a terrific choice. There's enough, but you don't want to have something too light bodied with Italian. Italian food is not subtle. So let's go, you go with a full body, but a little bit of acidity. And I'm going to let Kim talk a little about it too, since she was the one who suggested this to me.
Take it away, Miss Kim.
Well, I've got one of them ready. The one that was in the oven is ready. I haven't quite got the others ready yet. But what I like about the Syrah, y'all know I'm very picky about. I get certain wines and it's just like I can't shut up about them. And just like the Nile is my favorite Pinot Noir. I mean, I like it even better, believe it or not, than the Grand Cru. I love that Nile. I can drink it with anything and everything. It doesn't matter. I love it. But this Syrah is really nice and full-bodied, and I tasted it both ways, both aerated and not aerated. And of course, when I decided to aerate it, I used my whoop-de-doo little cork spin aerator there. So if I don't drink the whole bottle, I can have some left, and I just push the button and away we go. We have wine, and it's already aerated. But the nice thing about it is that even before you aerate it, you still get those earthy notes, and you do get some tannin. So if you're somebody that doesn't like to have any kind of little bit of oomph in your mouth, it probably ain't the one you really are going to like unless you aerate it. And after you aerate it, those tannins soften, and then they go so much better with everything else. But look how beautiful, and just look at the color of that. Isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. And I'm letting these ones I took out the oven cool down a little bit so I don't burn the dookie out of my mouth. So I'm going to let you know they're cooling down. I'm fixing to fry these other ones. I got the oil getting good and hot. It says to heat the oil to 350 degrees. I'm fixing to put this other one. I'm getting my marinara that I've added the stuff. The other one, I just put a teeny little bit of that wine in just because I couldn't help myself. So, we'll see how that comes out. And then I'm gonna fry these. I've never made this before. Y'all know I ain't scared. I'll do something I ain't never done, and we'll see if it flops, it flops. I don't care. I ain't scared. So,
That's the good. We're discovering not only wine, but our cooking skills too.
That's right. If we can't learn, if we can't learn amongst ourselves, then who can we learn with, right?
Exactly.
We're a family. So,
So Peter, I might be a little biased. I'm not the expert here, so I want to hear from you. But I'm starting to believe that Nialetti Pinot Noir that you guys put my name on might be the absolute best Pinot Noir on the entire planet. Can you tell everybody why? Look at that. Look at that label. Tanya Ricker designed that compass, by the way. It's a beautiful thing. Why is it so? What makes it so much better than all the other Pinot Noirs?
Well, there's a few different styles of Pinot Noir, and this is definitely the sort of California Sonoma Napa type. It has some Pinots can be very, very light bodied, very clear. And I love that too. Yours is definitely more of the rich, full bodied. It comes from that hot weather, especially in that area. You get the cool fog coming in the morning and then the hot days. And that ends up for a very ripe grape and a very full bodied, rich Pinot. And it leaves you a lot more flexibility. You get a little bit of a tannic structure, which sometimes you can miss in some Pinots, but you get that richness, you get that body, which is kind of what I think is what gets everybody excited about this one.
And that spicy finish it lets it go with so many different things, not just Italian, but a prime rib with some Brussels sprouts and bacon, right? And it just goes with so many different ways.
Yeah, and the finish is a big deal. The finish is something most people don't take the time to appreciate about wine, but that's one of the things that really shows off the difference between your average supermarket wine, which 2 seconds later it's gone, and this 30 seconds later, a minute later, you're still enjoying that sip of wine. It is not a brief experience. It's something to sit and savor and enjoy.
Indeed. Sheila, thank you for letting me interrupt and have him
You
explain
go
that.
right
'Cause,
ahead. I told you
man, it's so beautiful.
this is my training too. So I absorb all the notes. All right, Nick, unmute. Tell us where you are right now. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. My fingers are too fat to turn that unmute off or whatever. So we're ready. I'll show you. This is what I do different than probably the most average Italian. Hey, camera assistant, stop laughing. Come here.
Exhibit.
So all I do is, can you lift it up? Lift it up so they can see it, okay? Is I don't put sauce on. I just
gotta
do
pin this.
strictly diced tomatoes. And it is probably alkaline friendly because there's no seeds.
Yeah.
So that's the other advantage of doing it this way. Now, I lived in Europe for 4 years. And I will tell you, the thing that I enjoyed most about being there is you went to the market to get fresh vegetables all the time. I miss that. California, lived there for 2 years, missed the roadside pickups and in cooking in that process too, of getting everything fresh basically right off the vine more than anything else. So after you got the tomatoes going, and I generally put a pretty decent amount in, then I mentioned that I love spices. So I end up throwing spices on top of the tomatoes. Even though this already has a little bit of herb and garlic in it, I still add more onto it. And I just, 3 or 4 taps, and that should do that. Then I'm a cheese person. So I start off with mozzarella, and I don't skimp on it.
Never on cheese.
No, never. And then what makes it even more special is I do like a little bit of combination. So I like the Parmesan. I sprinkle a little bit of that on top of that.
See what you would like.
And that is your eggplant Parmesan. Put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And you're there.
All right. Now
Then Nick,
somebody asked
Nick, you gotta
earlier.
do one of these.
Yeah, but now what's important is prepping for when that thing comes out of the oven to tantalize your taste a little bit. So,
Like this.
and Niall, I don't know if you saw, I like the Pinot, and it's yours. How hard to get, what a way to be immortalized than being on a wine label bottle to begin with, right?
Other than my children, it might be the biggest honor of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. So, and like Tanya, decant a little bit. And what I like about the Pinot, I love even the very bold wines like the Cabs with the real strong tannins. But Pinot, if you're a white wine lover and go, I'll never try a red, you might want to try this because it's relatively medium light. It complements, like Pete mentioned, fish. It also complements, in particular, this dinner because eggplant, it goes real well with that, mushrooms. And then, like anything else, you do get a little bit of that earthy smell, but I also get a little bit of fruit smell to it also too, which that's one of the things that I enjoy about wine is be able to sit there and take your time, enjoy what you smell first, and then look forward to what the taste is. And the reason why is I grew up with a family that produced wine. So now I will tell you, they weren't the best wines in the world. They sure don't come compared to this. but there were occasionally when they got lucky. So, so I am glad I am part of this wine club because these are fantastic. So that gives you a wrap up now. Do you want to see the final product? Because it is ready.
We're gonna shoot the Phyllis here in a minute, but
Okay, let's do
somebody
that.
asked the question about your wash, what you dipped your eggplant in.
Oh, okay. It's purely just eggs. I don't add anything into the eggs. I use 2 eggs for the size of eggplant. You might be able to do a little bit more than the eggplant that I used. So I try to minimize the waste. So what I'll usually end up doing is even on the breadcrumbs, I'll throw some in and then I just keep adding as I see how much I got left. So I
is
don't
it just
really
the
measure.
plain- Yeah, is it just the plain egg white or the whole egg?
The whole egg, scrambled it real good. You just
Okay.
got to scramble it real good so that it sort of sloughs off the eggplant without it just, sticking there. You could
Gotcha.
add a little bit of cream. People have done that. I don't, because I don't want to alter the taste. So that's what I go for.
All right, perfect. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
if
jump.
your eggs are really fresh, sometimes just a couple drops of water, but just because
Yeah.
sometimes if the whites are really tight, then you can't scramble them. But
Right.
yeah, that you wouldn't mess. No need for dairy in that kind
What-
of stuff.
What I have found is I use organic eggs and that seems to be pretty decent for cooking. And you don't get too much of that. You need a little bit of help, but so I usually go out farmer out around here.
Now,
of
are
course.
your eggs at room temperature or cold?
Cold. I do
Cold.
them cold. I keep them in the refrigerator. So,
Okay.
and then I pull them out when I'm ready.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you're baking, room temperature eggs make a difference. If you're
Yep,
just
it does.
if you're using it for this, you're basically using
Right.
it as glue. So
Yep, if you're baking, it needs to be room temperature or your dough
Right.
won't rise, your yeast won't rise, cake
Yeah.
won't look good.
I hear you.
All right, so Miss Phyllis, what you got going over there? How's it coming?
It's coming. I don't need this. I have whipped up the cream and ricotta, cinnamon, and the nuts. And of course, it makes it thick. It's pretty thick.
Mhm.
So my oranges, these oranges are straight from my tree out back.
Oh man, you got an orange tree. Ah,
They're actually like tangerine type of things, and they have no seeds in them. So I just guessed to make the gaze orange. So I did this, and I put this little bit stuff in it, the orange sauce. So I am trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next. So all of these are going to go in these cups.
okay.
Um,
So there's no baking.
No baking whatsoever. It's all just, I think, stacking them up.
So it's
I'm with you
almost
guys
like a
on-
parfait.
Yeah, that's what I think. And when I saw the picture, my printer wouldn't print the picture out, but what I see is that's what it just layers it on it. So after I get all of my ingredients, I think my liqueur is ready. And it's so funny because I didn't put the two together with liqueur. The amaretto liqueur. I didn't put it together. That's alcohol. I was just thinking, okay, well, liqueur, where is that at? And so, of course, I had to ask the store people. I said, "Where's the liqueur?" I was like, "That's in the alcohol." I was like, "Wait, what?" That's alcohol? I said, "Okay, well, maybe it'll go good with wine. We're gonna find out." So,
What do you think, Peter?
oh, it should go fine. The amaretto is it's very common in Italian desserts, especially. It just gives you that. First of all, sometimes with some of these flavors, you need the alcohol because there's certain flavors that are alcohol soluble. So you need that in there. And that almond flavor goes great with that combination. So that's going to bring a little extra punch of flavor. And yeah, it should work great with the wine.
and then plus with the pistachios, going
Yep.
in there.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. So we'll let you get to layering that, and we're gonna jump back to Kim.
Okay.
Got to unmute Kim.
Okay.
There you go.
Actually, am I on
We
there?
lost your picture.
Tap to speak. Is that got me? I lost my
No.
video. Hold on. Doot.
There you
Okay, am I there? Video
Oh,
is
no.
stopped. Hold on, I'll get it. Somewhere. All right, turn it sideways and I can do it. It gives everything on there sideways. I was just gonna tell you that one of the things, the Italian margarita, while I'm trying to figure out my phone, the Italian margarita is actually made with amaretto, and it's got like a little sweet rim around it. And
Yep.
yeah, and oh, they are so good. I used to get them all the time, and when I go to Olive Garden, they're so good. And so that almond, the liqueur is so really good with it. And actually, I used to make my own amaretto. That's how much I like amaretto. And you do it with vodka and almond extract, and yeah, but you have to use really strong vodka to make it really good, you know.
All right.
All right, I can't figure out how to make my thing turn on.
We
No,
got
it's
you.
on.
It's on now.
Somebody tell me. Oh, I just saw it. Wait a
No,
minute.
You
you
just
turned it
cut
off
it
again.
off.
Watch, I'm gonna hit a
Pass
button that
me.
says share, ask for video.
Video. There we go. I got it. Okay.
There you
There
are.
you are.
I
Oh,
did it.
there you
Hold
go.
on.
There
There
you
I
are.
am. There I am. There I am. And I'm
Yep,
not
you're
muted.
there. You're
I
there.
can't hear y'all now, but dude. Hold on. Where's my sound? I'm
We're not
not
talking.
totally goofy. I just, had my moments. Okay. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I can't hear you, but we're just going to go anyway. All right. We have two different ones here. I think I did a pretty dadgum good job, to be honest with you. This is the one that was already pre-done. And this is the sauce that I added. I followed the directions on the box for how to make it better. And I took the basil leaves out of it, okay, and put Parmesan, both grated Parmesan and the shredded Parmesan on it, and put some shredded on top of the thing. And then these are the ones that I cooked and fried in the thing. And that's my little Wumba Dumba Dumba sauce that we're going to try, which I think is going to, just the sauce alone is going to win. But all right. So, all right, I'm kind of weird. I like to taste the wine first and then taste the food, and that's just what I do.
That's a lovely
All right,
decision,
so we're
Kim.
having a taste test. See which one actually tastes the best. If I burn myself, we'll just call the doctor.
She can't hear us. We got to get her to hear us.
Oh, no, it's more fun this way.
That one's okay. Now let's see what mine come out. I think mine's gonna win. I like the way the sauce came out. The sauce actually came out pretty good. It was thinner, but by putting the cheese on it, it came out real nice. See how it does? You dip it all full of that. This is how you eat them. This is not a fork eating thing. You eat it with your hands.
Oh, got a crunch. You hear that crunch?
And they do make a meat and cheese one too. Mhm. I'm sorry. I like mine better. Ha ha. Imagine that. And I'm going to be fair. I'm going to try it in the other sauce just because I don't want to be swayed. No, it's crispier frying it. It's just better. I almost borrowed, hold on a minute. I almost borrowed a friend's air fryer. And you could probably do it in that, especially the frozen ones. That'd be no problem to do it in the air fryer. But it didn't take nothing to fry them, and I could use good, healthy oil, and those fats are good for your body, So, in Italian meals, you're supposed to have a little bit of fat in there anyway. So you get the right kind of fat. So it's healthy. So anyway, this is great because I would have never made this for myself if I hadn't been cooking for you, Sheila. So I'm just thrilled that you let me. Thank you so much. Oh, wait.
Perfect.
Now I got to see what it does with this. It takes that punch away from it. The punch that's at the end, the tannins that are on the end. It takes that punch away because the spice has the punch. It makes it very smooth. It really makes it real smooth. And I love this stuff. It's got all those nice deep berry flavors in it. And I'm sorry now, but you know I love my wine.
Yes, me too.
I had to be without it for a while because I was taking antibiotics and I was devastated. So
I was going to tell you, just to be
Anyway.
certain, I think you
okay,
should do
I'll
that
let y'all
test
go. I'm
3
just
more
an
times.
appetizer girl, so y'all go ahead. But this was fun and it's quick and easy. I thought it was going to be really hard, but this was easy. I stressed more about what a nut and fool I'd make of myself than anything else. But y'all are used to me, so I figured you'd get over it. So I love you guys and thank you again.
I love Kim. She makes everything so much fun. Love her. All right, so Nick, what you got for me?
Now, what am I supposed to do? Quiet, make me
Okay, there, we're back. The daughter has better fingers than I do. So, you ready?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
So I'll show you 2 different ways that I like the cheese brown quite a bit. So as you can see on the big plate, or if you like where the cheese is melted but not browned, this is what it looks like. And this would probably be about 18 to 22 minutes of baking compared to about 30 to 35 with this. So then all I simply do, a little bit of spaghetti on the plate. Whoops, well, maybe more. I'll just leave it this way. I'll eat it. And then
Yummy.
I have a seal of approval from the granddaughter. And then I'll just load up the plate with the eggplant.
Oh, that looks gooey. Oh,
Yeah, it is one of my favorite meals. My wife's vegetarian, so I'm a meat eater. So that was a little bit difficult in getting into the point of cooking 2 different ways. But this is one of my favorite dishes anyway, too. I got to admit that it is very tasty with all that spices, and then taking into account the wines and whatnot. It makes a dinner special. And what I like about Europe in a long way, in many ways, is when you went out to eat dinner, it was an event. It wasn't like our typical, hey, 45 minutes, I'm ready to leave. No, it was actually a family event, spending 2 or 3 hours of just relaxing. Yes, the adults got to enjoy the wine, and the children soda, but I had to tell them, hey, remember, it's not like the United States. When you ask for a refill, that costs more than that glass of wine that I'm drinking for the second time around. So no, you only get one. So that was our experience. But anyway, I enjoy very much this meal to begin with. So I'm open to anything.
perfect. That's the one thing that I think we miss in America is making our dinners an event. I remember growing up when you went to grandma's for dinner, that's what it was. You had your time that you sat and talked and relaxed. The guys had their cigars, that they were smoking, and that's before all the, political correct stuff,
Right.
but you had family time, you conversated, you caught up, and then when you sat down to eat, you enjoyed your meal. You didn't rush through it. You still had that conversation. You talked about what was happening, so it's just carried on. So and then afterwards, you had the same thing. The kids went to another room to play or whatever they wanted to do, and the adults still hung around and had their dessert or their after dinner drink and sat and talked again. So it was a 2, 3, sometimes 4-hour event that we don't do anymore because we're living that microwave society. So that's one thing about our wines that we have in this amazing wine club, is that you do get a chance to sit down and enjoy these wines. If you don't know what our wines are about, get with the person that invited you here. They will be able to help you to learn how to get and be a part of our program. Like I said, we get to discover a new wine every month, sometimes 4 wines, depending on what you get. You can come in as a customer, for as little as $100. If you want to make this as a side gig or even a way to replace your income, we have that too. We market all over the world in one form or another. And our wines are strictly come from Napa and Sonoma Valley with some of the, best sommeliers there that create our wines for us. Nothing gets released until it is ready. So we don't have to worry about mass producing our wines. Once it's gone, it's gone. But it's there and it's guaranteed to be your most awesome wine you'll ever taste. Like you've heard people here talking, they think they have a favorite, and then next thing you know, there's a new wine that comes out, and all of a sudden that becomes your new favorite because it's just amazing. And sometimes it's the food you pair it with also changes the flavors. Sometimes the wine changes the flavor of your foods, and sometimes the food enhances or changes the flavor of the wine. So that's why we come here, so you can see and learn exactly how your wine or food's supposed to taste with different foods and pairings. So we're going to get with Miss Phyllis. And like I said, if you want to see what this is all about, get with the person that invited you here. They'll be more than happy to tell you exactly what you need to do or explain a little bit more about our Wine Discoveries program. And we do this every week. So hop on every week, see what we got cooking next week. So we're going to go to Miss Phyllis and see how she's coming along with her dessert. She got her. All right, unmute.
Always forget that. Okay, so this is all about the layering is what I'm reading. So you put a little bit of this in and top it with the berries, which is these kind of berries with the alcohol on them. And then you put the berries ricotta cream on it. Like this. And then you put some more crumbs on it. And evidently I was reading, I think I did the correct thing by getting these biscuits. They can say they're in the deli. So we've got crumbs, berries, ricotta, crumbs, and more berries.
That looks so good, it's ridiculous.
Isn't it though? I haven't even tasted it yet.
I bet it smells delicious with that amaretto mixed in there.
Sprinkle. Okay, and then we'll put a little bit more ricotta on the top. And then you sprinkle it with the chocolate. This is just, I think this is just mostly for decoration, but you put that on there.
And then you need a really long spoon.
Well, that's why it's layered. So, you go at a little at a time. Savor the flavor, right?
Yeah.
So, here we go. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
You need to take a picture of that.
I could do that. We all got the technology.
Yep.
And Phyllis, don't worry if there's any leftover. If you haven't heard, I'm on my magic sled tonight. So after I pick the dinner, I'll be over there for.
Well, I'll save some for you. Come on over.
Okay. One for you, one for hubby, and I'll be by to pick one up.
Now look at this bowl. You think there's gonna be any
No.
running out? I think I got plenty.
Perfect. And what wine are you drinking?
Shiraz.
Okay, so let us know what you taste.
So this is my bottle.
Which one is that? I can't
Shiraz.
read the label.
Discoveries Shiraz
Okay,
2020.
all righty.
Best year ever.
Perfect.
Okay, let's see what this tastes like. I want to get a little bit of strawberries too. It's kind of hard to though. So I know the alcohol is going to be good.
I bet the more it marinates, the better it's going to taste because it's going to absorb everything.
Mmm.
That's the sound I love to hear.
That's kind of different. It's good though. This brings out the more of the flavor of it. It's not as tart. It's not as tart. That is good. And you know what? Y'all should make this. Y'all should make it. It's not sweet. It's. I thought it was gonna be super sweet, but it's not sweet at all. I'm gonna get some of the crumbs. That's it. You gotta have all three of them together.
Yep.
Oh
Now
my
taste the
God.
wine. Now taste the wine after that bite where you have all three flavors. Now try the wine. See if it tastes different. Because I just tasted my wine again closer to when I ate and it tasted totally different.
Yeah, this wine is tasting a little sweet.
Yeah,
Word.
it's funny. Dirt makes it sweet,
Interesting.
doesn't it?
Usually it takes away the sweet, doesn't it?
Not always. Sometimes it'll bring it out.
Because that wine is a little bit more sweet.
Yep.
But y'all gotta have this. I'll make a page for it so you guys get the
Yes.
recipe.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put in there all the trouble it took to get this. Oh my gosh. I kept texting Sheila. I said, this is not gonna work. Let's just do it with the pie. We'll just make a pie, okay? I got these little cake things. I could do a little cake cane. And she said, that's not Italian. But you know what? I bought the apple pie and the peach pie stuff, little cups, and I was gonna make that last week on my time, the 23rd. It was the 23rd, Sheila.
Yep.
And I ran out of time. Everything is happening to me right now really fast. And I said, oh, there's no way. So I thought, well, I'll make it tonight. And she's like, that's not Italian.
But it looked wonderful what you did, and I appreciate it. And for y'all that don't know, Phyllis is one of my students. Her job is actually relocating her to Lima, Peru. For how many years?
3.
3. And she finally just got her location and apartment. She's going to be on the ocean, guys, but she gets to take her website and her PBS with her. So she's going to be building her business in Lima, Peru. So
You can take this business anywhere.
Anywhere.
You want to.
And I'm pretty sure Lima, Peru is going to give you a lot to write about over the next 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. From the beginning to the end.
Yep. So that's the one thing about our wine discoveries. Even though you may not be able to get wine shipped to wherever you might be, you can still build the business there. We have that opportunity. And like I said, it's marketed worldwide, guys. Just to be able to discover what we have, to be part of this family, is just amazing. I want to thank all of my cooks for this month and tonight. It has been a real treat. I love doing this. I love teaching. I love meeting new people and learning new things. Again, thank you. It's been real humbling for me to be able to do this with y'all. Thank you, Mr. Peter, for being there for me. Being my
Thank
go-to
you.
guy.
You did a good job.
So it has just been really wonderful. Thank you, Nick, and your granddaughter for being your co-host over there tonight, your wingman. And Miss Kim, as always, I love having you here. And
You see
yep.
that empty plate? You see that, right? That's the one that I cooked. It's gone, buddy. I mean to tell you, it was good. And you know, one little thing, when you were talking about the family dinners, I used to sit and watch my mama cook, and I would write down things that she would do and draw pictures of the meat and stuff. You know, it was after I got married, and all I knew how to do was tuna noodle casserole and beanie weenie casserole, right? So I'd go, and when I'd visit, I'd draw pictures and stuff. And that was part of the whole thing, was being around mom, you know, and it just sitting at the pass through or at the bar or whatever, you know, and it just, that's what this wine and dine feels like to me. This is our family time together.
It's a
you know, and
family.
it just, Yeah, and I thank you for letting me be a part of your family night. I really appreciate it so much. And
Anytime,
I
anytime.
thank you.
I just, like I said, we come here, we learn each other. We learn, like I said, none of us are professional chefs, though I do have some in my group. They refuse to come and cook. But we're gonna get them there. Anybody can come on here and cook. All you have to do is just let the person that invited you come in, grab our bottles of wine, and you are more than happy to come on here and share your recipes, and just have fun. Let loose, and like Peter said, enjoy your wine, learn to savor it, and to get your palate trained for what really true fine wine tastes like. Okay.
Amen.
So
Thank you so much, Sheena.
happy
You've done a great
birthday
job.
again. Where's Mr. Shane? If he's on here,
He's
Shane,
on.
Shane, happy
birthday.
birthday.
We got to sing, everybody. Are you ready? 1,
Happy-
2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Happy
Birthday,
dear
Shane.
Happy
birthday
to you.
many more.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you,
We may not
everybody.
make it on the America's Next Top Singer or something like that.
Yep.
But we love everybody here. And again, thank you, Shane. Happy birthday, Shane. And
Happy
again, thank y'all
birthday.
for coming out. And
Happy
we'll see
birthday,
y'all on
Shane.
the
Happy
training.
birthday, Shane.
Happy birthday,
Thank
old
you,
Happy
friend.
birthday.
You're welcome. We are going to.
Happy birthday.